Okay, this is our weekly update, which is, let's see, it's Sunday here, so it's Monday there. So they'll be working tonight from Monday. What we're looking at here is the bottom of a door jamb. The red thing on the side is our mold, our form to make the jamb, and we set it up on a hollow block with a piece of phenolic board. They'd come out to 8 inches plus the phenolic board. And that's because we have to have a 2-inch step down in the Philippines into a wet area. That includes your decks, patios, lanais outside the house, bathrooms. It seems to exclude kitchens that have a sink, but bathrooms for sure. You'll fail your certificate of occupancy if you haven't got that 2-inch step down, and it would be really hard to make it up later. So what we did, we have a 4-inch black water pipe that goes to the toilet, and it's sticking up out. It's not this. This is another pipe. That's a 3-inch, but there's a 4-inch that sticks up out of the floor, and we can put an elbow on that. And if we have 4.5 or 5 inches of concrete cover, we're good to go. So 5 inches for that, and then you have a ceramic tile on the floor and tile adhesive. We're not going to use dry pack. Every place I look is failing. It fails in the big malls. It fails in people's house construction. Failed on a municipal building out in our town. So we're going to go to the modern way and just clean the floor, use bonding agent on it, and then tile cement, ABC tile cement. We're just going to leave out the mud pack, which it hasn't been done in the States since probably 1960. So I know it can work. Okay. The important things to see here is there are 2 spacer pipes that sets the thickness of this concrete, and then you got a 1/2-inch threaded rod running through, and you'll see a piece of blue pipe back here. That's just to take up some thread length. That pipe doesn't go through the phenolic board. It just stops. It's a distance piece, but that's just so they don't have to screw it down so far. We have a thread chaser in case there's concrete on them threads, but it's easier to put a pipe over it and then run your thread chaser on maybe 50 of those rods at the same time. Get somebody set up on it under a tree and just let them go for the morning. Anyway, the 2 rods is because if I put one in the middle, then especially one in the middle in the center, the way the concrete is going to gag it open on the top, it'll pivot around that middle pipe and it'll squeeze it together at the bottom. And that's not what we're trying to do. We want vertical sides. This is showing setup. What else has it got? Well, it's got the... this is the handrails for the lower, we call the donut roof. I think there's 52 of those. They're at 5 feet long. This is showing that they're set up. They've got a conduit going up over here, and there'll be another conduit above where the wall switch is, which you can't see because it's covered up. And then the round part of the door is up in here, but it comes within 4 inches of the top of that form instead of 12 inches. Because we raised this whole door form up into the red thing, that whole form was raised up. Let me make this smaller. That might be better. Yeah, we raised it up so we could get our 2-inch set down, and on the outside it's 8 3/4, but we're going to put 3/4-inch ceramic tile and 3/8 of an inch of tile adhesive. And we're going to get it back to around 7.5 inches, which is the standard height of the steps everywhere in this villa. Any place on the property is a 7.5-inch step. Old people need consistency. Okay, they were ready to pour that, But they have to bag rocks and sand, and they've been digging dirt out back, so filling in around the all those tanks and ponds and stuff like that. All the concrete, this like shrimp tanks, tilapia tank, cistern, septic tank, all that stuff that's in the ground. So this is for bathroom 3. They've got it set together, but they have to drop in the door form here. I'm not sure they won't have to loosen these bolts to get that in there because it's the same thickness as the wall. But they know what they're doing. They've done this for a couple of years now. Over here you see an outlet. That's in the shower. Because we've made this about 9 or 10 inches longer than was in the plans. We put benches to sit on across this whole end and down the side to where we're doing the vanity cabinet. And then the toilet, since we can put it any place in that back, I don't want it tight against the wall. It's a one-piece toilet. There's no reason to try to brace that tank for somebody leaning against it. It's a one-piece toilet. So I want to be able to clean behind it. I want to have some clean out Ys, the screw-in cap for the gray water and the black water, and I want to put them behind the toilet where they're not visible. So the time we relocated that and made space around everything, don't want anything all jammed up tight. It was just easier to add 9 inches. They're going to put a block of wood here in this form, and we'll take our chisel on the hammer drill and we'll cut a channel for the wires over, and we'll mount the switches over here on the outside of the bathroom and drill a hole straight through that wall with a coring bit, like an 1.25 inch coring bit, and we'll put another one on the other side. We could pretty much cut out the shape of the wall box from both sides, and if there's conduit or if there's rebar in there, we'll have to deal with it. But in any event, we're moving the electrical out of there. We want a light switch for the room. When you're coming from one room to the other, we need a light switch near the door. And I kind of think I want a light switch for the lights inside of the CR itself. And I think I'm going to make this exhaust fan run anytime a light is on, so people don't have to go out of the way to turn it on and off, so that it actually gets used. That's just another view of the one ready to pour. Okay, this is the bottom of the door thing for bathroom number 2. Now you notice this is the jamb as it came out of the forms. You'll see a little bit of tape stuck in it. That's duct tape that was on that form, so the concrete doesn't stick to the form. And a little shred of duct tape is stuck in that crack. Somebody will get that out eventually. Oh, and hollow blocks on the floor and all this cement dust everywhere. We use hollow blocks for spacers on different things. And they just reached around the corner and threw it here. And then that's where the next place we came was this bathroom. So it's got to be shoveled up anyway. So B has got her name on that. She'll take care of that and put it in where they're backfilling those tanks down at the bottom somewhere. She does a lot of different things. Okay, and what she's doing right there is she's gathering up 19 concrete sacks, rolling them up, and stuck them in the 20th sack. And then she'll put them in the house out of the sun. No big gum boots today. She hasn't got her hair tied up because she's not painting, I guess. Maybe that's why. And only one sweatshirt on today instead of 2 or 3. Go figure. This is a good view of our rain gutter. It's rather than have it on the roof, we have it on the ground because we're collecting all this water up to go in the cistern. And also, we don't want the dirt to splash on the house. All the stuff you see splashed there now is concrete. It's got to be knocked off. We put a new motor on because I can't get anybody to run these things when they shut them off. And the gas keeps evaporating out of the carburetor. And it makes like a varnish that glues the whole thing together. And when you try to take it apart and clean it, there's a tab that holds the pivot on the float. And we've not successfully taken one of those pins out yet without breaking the tab off. And the carburetor's $22 US. So we just went and bought a motor this time. Nane, he does the farm gardening at the other property. Works 3 days a week here, and he'll work 6 if we need him. You can't see it. It's out of the picture. You notice that there's a jamb in this, like a stop in here for the ventilation fan. This is the bathroom, so it has a 14-inch ventilation fan. And she's going to catch this concrete, and he's going to dump it a bucket at a time. We didn't have any luck with that catch pan. They got to have so much water in the concrete to shovel it that we don't want that water in the cement we pour. We want water weight to equal Portland cement weight, and that's what we're going to do. And this time they're using 2 people to catch because they've got to snatch it up on this windowsill about the time they catch it. Oh, we just take a grill out when you're working next to a window. Just take the grill out and put it back. It's only 8 bolts. You have to be inside the house to take the bolts in and out, but it's only 8 bolts. And we're going to put Torx drive set screws in the bolts from the opposite side, and we're going to tighten them down to about 200 foot-pounds. And that way you won't be able to turn those other bolts out if you're standing in front of them. And you sure can turn them out reaching through the grill. Plus we're going to have 15 900 watt, 966 LED 900 watt. They're rated at 3400 watt, but I think they're really 900 watt. Street lights for a town. Got those anywhere from $52 to $136. The price just runs up and down. I don't know. I bought most of them when they were cheap, and in the end I wanted them the same. I just paid what they were going for that week. I believe that's Boy. Part of Benji Boy. That's the other part of Benji Boy. They do the ornamental ironwork and welding and house wiring and whatever. So what he's doing, this is what we call the second lift. 4 feet of height on the first lift, 3 feet 6 inches on the second lift, because you're using the bottom bolts in the top holes of the first pour, and we're using the same depth of bolts off the surface as Texas Filipino advised, so that we don't break off the top of that concrete if we want to slip the forms a couple hours after we pour it and have another shot at it. As soon as it's set enough to hold it, we could do that, but we never do. We leave them on a day or two. And you'll notice that the finish coming out of the forms, skim coat's all you need on this. You don't need to render this stuff. Okay. All this dirt you see down here, that was dirt pile a little while back. On the left over here, that's the dirt they were digging on last week that went around the septic tank and the other end of the cistern. I can see this tree branches, so I know the cistern is right to the left out of the picture. That's Benji. Tell from the hat. That hat's at least 5 years old. This is cistern. That's the cistern. From where they're working, that's the cistern. I was thinking we had rebar sticking up out of this about a foot that we bend into the lid. Apparently not. But we got them sticking up on this other piece of concrete. But that's not the cistern. That's the tilapia tank. That's it's only 29,000 gallons over there. Cistern's 37.8. And we're doing this dirt work out here for two reasons. There's nothing we'll have to do over if we screw it up. And right now the dirt is at the moisture content where it's not sticking to you up to your knees, pulling your shoes off. And it's not so hard that they have to use a Beretta to chip it away and gulp all size little chunks. Right now you can dig it like real dirt. So we're capitalizing on the fact that the dirt is movable by human beings. The town hasn't fixed the backhoe in 4 years. Needs something on one of the stabilizer cylinders, some kind of packing or something. If I knew what it was, I would bring it with me when I went back. I might have Catalina ask him what the part number is, or what it is. I can get a part number. And that's the front road running down. That's where the electric poles are. So that's just some people that have put up something like houses. They call them houses. I don't know. This is where the water's going to go into the cistern. This dirt has to be filled up to 5 inches below the, on the right over here is the gutter, because we'll have a concrete slab over to the cistern. And I think when they get to the cistern, they're going to be flush with the cistern. That's what we were intending to do. That's maybe what we did do. I don't know. But we want to pour the lid on the cistern bigger than the cistern so that we can make a horizon pool there and maybe put koi in the horizon pool. Okay, this is one of those bottom door thresholds poured. And this is for bathroom. The threaded bolts look like bathroom too, but the forms are gone down here. And it's cleaned up. So she's already been in there and cleaned that up. This is blurred. See, I didn't take the pictures. You can't get me for that. The shaky camera work and the rambling about everything under the sun, that's me. You can blame me for that. But we got a 4-inch toilet thing, a 3-inch is going to end up going to the shower, and one goes to the sink. And oh, these holes here, we cast square boxes of concrete, no bottom in them, but we cast those up to the what the bottom of the floor was going to be when we poured the floor, and put our rough-in plumbing down there before we backfilled all the stuff and poured the floors. So that's what that rectangle, it'd be covered up with a tile. And there was apparently 2 in here. One would have been shower with its own drain, and then there'd be a black water and another gray water. This is bathroom 1. And you're seeing right through the thing here, because I thought it would be nice if I had a little bit of light from the room go into the CR. And what we're going to do is we're going to stack up 3 feet of glass hollow blocks. And I think we're going to stick them 1 inch out from the surface. And a 3-inch block out from the inch from the surface will give us a 5-inch niche in the back to put shampoo bottles and stuff like that on. And back here, this is 3 blocks by 3 blocks. And that's going to be a shelf next to the toilet. We can set the toilet paper in there out of range of the water flying around in the shower. And anything else we need for the toilet. On the back wall back, there's the vanity. And there's also electrical receptacles there. So obviously we're going to need a ground fault circuit breaker. It's all right. I've seen them before. And this is showing you how much dirt we got to go to get from here to here. And this whole end. This pile's going to run out before they finish that. They're going to take some off this other pile. There's another one right around the corner from the tilapia tank. So not going to run out of dirt. I think that's Jerome's son and Nana, Benji, and Boyette. Boyette's the foreman, but you can't stop him from actually physically working. And that's Jerome's son again. I believe that's the weekly update. So we're just going to end it here because there's nothing else to say. All right. But you're seeing we're not having to be there to supervise work in the Philippines. If you have a reasonable crew, they're glad to be working during the pandemic. And they send us pictures every day to show what got done. And also we're hooked up to this Yahoo Messenger. Or maybe it's Facebook Messenger. My wife takes care of all that because I don't speak the language. And that's another thing. We're getting this done when I don't speak the language. I have to explain it to her. And then we have the modified in translation version they get. And then they take pictures. And I say, I know you don't want to look like you didn't know what you're talking about, but you didn't know what you're talking about. You got to tell them to make that wider, or whatever. Okay. So remember, we got a pandemic is keeping us from getting back over there. As the passport records for her birth certificate got in the flood 2 weeks after she was born. Her and her twin sister, they let their passports expire while they're in the States because they're using U.S. Passports and visas. And then she lost hers. If she had the old one, we'd be ready to go. The sister kept hers, the twin sister, but my wife lost hers. She moved about 8 times while she was in the States. Works about 3 years and moves. I captured her when she was in Murfreesboro, North Carolina. She come from Houston, Texas to there. So, okay. We're going to try to make this thing stop. And y'all say a prayer for the people in the pandemic.